So Shaheen, tell us how you began doing this work.
So I sort of got inspired by my uncle who came to England from India in 1951. And he lived always in Golders Green, it's a particular area in North London. And he had many good Jewish friends. And, in discussions and things that I learned from him was the inspiration for me to work on the path of creating peace within Jewish and Muslim community. And I believe, and I learned that a lot of things are similar between our two religions and our two cultures and societies. So I wanted to concentrate on the positive aspects of those things and sort of bring it to light to people that they don't know about it. And that's really my interest.
What kind of education do Muslims in Urdu-speaking parts of the world have about Jews, the Holocaust, and of course the State of Israel?
Well, I think in terms of the Jewish people, they're very, very open about it. They understand and believe that we believe in the same God who we'll return back to. So definitely, and also Moses, the prophet of Judaism, is the prophet of Islam as well. So, and as a matter of fact, Moses is mentioned maximum time in the Holy Book of Quran. Torah is book before Quran, and we are told to believe in all the books that came from before Quran as well. So a lot of similarities, really. And the other side of the coin also, they believe there's a slight misunderstanding in the minds of people that there's a Zionist movement which will take over all of Middle East, which is what we need to kind of get rid of. I don't think there's any conspiracy. Israel is an independent state. And I think somehow we need to work towards a peaceful solution to the two-state solution and live in peace and harmony. And basically, I think that commerce will do the job as well. And I think both sides are, going to give and take a little bit. And I'm very much a believer of that.
Why is it so important for you to teach Muslims about Jewish history?
Well, when I read about the Jewish history, it inspired me because I think I'm a firm believer in God, and the name of God was carried by the Jewish people before us. So basically, there was a lot of atrocities against the Jewish community for 2,100 years plus in Europe and in other parts of the world, and I was very taken back by that. I definitely wanted to make sure that this is not repeated in any way or shape or size with any community, and need to build bridges between the communities.
I'm interested to know what kind of impact your work has had so far. What has the response been?
So I wrote this book called The Granddaughter Project, which is coming out in Israel as well on the next week, 22nd of June. It actually talks about the Holocaust, particularly chose a character from Holocaust, specifically highlighting the SAS soldiers' atrocities committed against the Jewish women. The book is called The Granddaughter Project, and it's available in Israel on the 22nd of June. So what it did is it enabled me to understand the sufferings of the people, and that I actually translated in Urdu to 600 million people across the world. And I've been working with a lot of Jewish organizations across the world to highlight that. In addition to that, I'm actually inviting both the Jewish as well as the Muslim community in London in November, December time, provided COVID is controlled, to hold a Muslim tribute to Jewish Holocaust exhibition by Shaheen Chishti, which I am going to arrange and invite all the prominent people from the two communities to build bridges and to get rid of any feelings and any negative feeling that exists, if it ever exists, between our two communities to move forward.
So what is the most important message that you'd like to send to the world?
So the book, The Granddaughter Project, which comes out on the 22nd of June, they've actually loved the book. And it deals with three women characters, one being from Bengal. I tried to cover the Bengal famine, and please forgive me for using that, but that was kind of a small Holocaust for us in Bengal in 1940s. And then I kind of moved on to Austria, and I took Helga as a character of an Austrian Jewish person, how the life changed for them and how they had to suffer and then immigrate to Israel. And specifically the atrocities, Holocaust has been covered, but nobody really particularly covered the SAS soldiers' atrocities. And I specifically paid attention to that in the book, as well as my work too. I like to highlight what happened because I think we need to become a united bloc against atrocities, and I think we'll be more powerful if we all stand together against all these atrocities like, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, more work for women empowerment. Women in both the cultures, all three faiths, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, have similar sort of problems. More, I say, in Jewish and Islamic cultures. So I think we can learn from each other. There should be more forum, more open dialogue to help each other and build bridges.
All right. Well, it's really fascinating, the work that you're doing. I'd like to thank you for joining us.